Hello people, what is going on? Myself, Mr. Trick in the building. Obviously, want to say a massive shout out to everyone who caught the live set that we did this weekend, where we raised £1,000 for Trestle Trust, which is a really good cause that helps put food on a table for people who can't get hold of any food in these difficult times. Shouts to Swing and Bass family as well. So today I'm going to do a track breakdown of a track that I've remixed for Sam and The Womp called Go Brass. We'll run the tune. Free download on my SoundCloud and on my Bandcamp. Shouts to everyone who's downloaded it already. It's only been out for about 5 days. Let's get into it. So this is the project. So I got the brass, and that was basically it. I listened to the brass. I think I changed the tempo of it. And I chopped it into lots of different sections, and it was so epic for me. It was just really euphoric, big. It reminded me of like Boomtown, like all these big brass festivals that have just loads of energy. So I don't know, and I then added like this tabla sound that I just got off Splice. And then that kind of gave it the vibe that I was going for. With the brass, I added, this is my chain for my brass that I got from Nooksman, and he did a little video on computer music. So yeah, got a lovely compressor on there, decapitator, punish it a little bit, and then use the wet and mix to get the effect that you like. So it just grits it up a bit. Obviously cut the low end. This thing is great if you want to brighten up sound, bring it further forward in the mix, but not with your standard EQ that you want to use. Yeah, and then obviously L2, not really doing much, and then I had a filter on it. Let me just take it off the loop so it goes into the tune. Loads of cool delays and stuff. That's obviously side chaining. I can't remember off the top of my head what is side chaining. And then on here I had an old the Logic preset spring delay, spring reverb, and then horn play. So the brass just basically was epic, and that was where it started. And then I had the whole like Indian vibe going on. So I did add these vocals from Spice, but Sam didn't like them, which is fair enough. I'm not gonna bother doing that. Yeah, and then I just thought it worked. And then obviously moved it into key and stuff. They didn't like them. And then there was this other sound that I added from Splice. With a little bit of vocal in there, which is nice. Remember, always put a little bit of vocal in your track. Maybe some haze, or some ho, some what. Oh, speaking of haze, I got some haze. I don't think Sam liked these either, but I feel it added to the epicness. But I did agree with what he said. He said that they sound very like generic. Like it would be nicer if they're a bit more natural. And I couldn't find any of the sounds, and I wasn't up for recording them myself. So we've got the haze, we've got the brass, we've got the Indian sound, the tabla, which is that. And then I had some Indian percussion sounds that I added. Let's just listen to them by themselves. yeah, so I use EX24 quite a lot. I just download some stuff and chuck it in there. That was from this pack here. Yeah, there's some nice stuff in terms of Indian sounds on Splice, which was good. What's this? Oh, and then yeah, there's this kind of top sound. Oh, can't remember how I did that. I bounced that top of my head. Sorry about that. Sitar. So I added another sitar sound, which was from Omnisphere, and then just EQ'd the hell out of it to make it sound. It makes me think of like Asian Dub Foundation, and there's some stuff that they've done that's like, I think there's a song about Palestine. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember off the top. It just reminds me of that. They've got a famous song, and it just gave me that vibe. And then this Up, I think that was another version, another sitar from Omnisphere, and this was pretty cool. So together, kind of created this loveliness, and with this kind of sound on the top. And then just wanted a kind of really big epic build, so then add some strings. Again, I think these are from Omnisphere. I think they're called Hollywood Strings, or they're from the Korg M1 high string preset, which are really nice. Used a lot in kind of garage stuff, UK garage, the M1 keyboard. What's this? Oh yeah, this is just like a low drone that's called Whistling in the Deep. Well, I can't remember where I created that from. Now, this is the fun bit. This sound is not from a vocal sample. Is actually from a young boy called Mateo, who is my partner's nephew. So he said that. Oh gosh, and then I just recorded him.
I don't know that song. Say that again?
Yeah, what?
What'd you say?
Yeah, so basically just recorded him and then clipped that, pitched it up, and made this kind of cool sound. Not that one. This. And then added some reverb. Oh, reverb. Check out this plugin. This plugin is cool. Lexicon. Yeah, and then so that kind of all together in the build up, and then I just added some claps for kind of builds. Standard claps. Oh, put a bit of overdrive on your claps. Learned that from P. Parker. Got a bit of enveloper to give it more attack. EQ'd it, simple EQ. And then I think I did a little, what's that? Oh yeah, so I just did a kind of bit, there's a swell, I think. That's basically the intro. And then I think here's some snare builds. Standard. Just giving it again a bigger build. And then a whoosh sound. Very nice. I really wanted a vocal here. Me and Sam had this big debate about, oh, I think there should be a said something and then it drops, but he won't feel that. So then let's just check out the drop. So I did add a vocal. It was just that. Yeah. From the original sound, so we kind of met in the middle. I think it's important when you're kind of collaborating with somebody, is you're like, this is it's got to work for both people. It's got to work for both parties. So kick, yeah, my go-to kick 2. Loving the CPU crash in there. C2, and then this. Punch Rob Papin. I've got like loads of presets of like the tuning of the kick. So whatever this is, I can't remember off the top of my head. Whatever your first bass note is usually the root note if you've got it right. In this sense, it's F, it's F, it's F. So I've obviously got my preset set up to play my low kick on F, and then just like hi-hats, layered that, pretty standard hi-hat. Oh, I got some trappy snares that are pretty cool. So I've gone for like a garagey shuffle with trap snares. Kind of inspired by the likes of Joyrider. I figures. Oh, then snares are pretty quiet. And then open hi-hat. Don't know what. Oh, I think. So electronic kick drum. So yeah, people talk about fundamental frequencies. Obviously, getting your kick drum, boom, kick in. That's kind of an F. It should be on an F. Little tip here: if you're using Ultra B or anything Ableton, like you can sometimes get an electronic kick drum, pitch it to the key of your track, and it should sound quite nice. You see up here it says F2, so it's punching at 174 hertz. And then clap, all pretty standard, nice crash, and then obviously I cut around the brass stuff to give it this kind of lovely chop in between. I think that's the hardest bit of the track, is to make a kind of motif, as you call it, a phrase, and with the bass kind of going in and out. So yeah, this is just a bass sound I made in Serum. Again, bass sound in Serum. Bass sound in Serum. Made a bass sound in Massive. Yeah, it's keeping that old. So the kind of low kick drum sub. It's quite boring, but it keeps the groove going. Do you know what I'm saying? And with the other bass sounds. So I just open that one up for you. So that's the bass. Excuse me, sorry. UK bass sounds pretty cool. My keyboard's not plugged in. And then this was the Serum patch. And yeah, that. Whoa, let's check that. So this one's the second sound. This one. Very kind of Joyrider-esque. And then the first one, the row, is this one, which is just great. It's very dubstep-y. So I went for, like, again, it's like very cross-genre-y. And then this, I think, is just some white noise. Yeah, so white noise, I've learned a lot about putting white noise on stuff. If it feels a bit empty at some points, you can add some white noise and it kind of just does something very magical. Obviously it adds loads of high end, but it just fills it out a bit. If you feel your tracks are just a bit empty at points, because if you listen without it, so it kind of, there was nothing there, and then I staged it and it kind of just fills it. I think on a big sound system that would sound great. So that's it really. I mean, what else is quite cool about this song? Structurally, like, was kind of interesting to work with Sam on which bit. Like, I originally made it like 5 minutes long, and he was like, yeah, shorter. I just did like loads of cuts that tried to make it a bit more interesting here. Oh yeah. Also, I've got here Dizzy Rascal stand-up tool. Good technique to use sometimes is try putting a vocal in your tune and see if it will work, because you never know. You might play your tune out and it might be an MC, and they'd probably want an MC on it, or you never know. An MC might turn around and go, "Yeah, I want to be on this tune," and then it's just breakdown. yeah, and then just kind of empties out. And then I built it again. Lots of filters going on here. Just introducing everything back in from being really, really loud to really, really quiet. And then I've done something crazy. Oh yeah, the second time bass. You can hear it's different. It's because I've just added saturation. I've just gone a bit harder on the second drop and taken away some brass. Also thinking about if you've got maybe a rapper or singer, I don't know, wants to come on your tune, and then also think about your players. If the band that you're remixing for says, hey, we want to do this live, think about if you put brass all the way through the track, are they physically going to be able to play that? So that's what Sam said. So he's like, take some of the brass out so you know, they can get their breath, because this is such a big brassy track. So yeah, to break it down, had some effects from bulk of bass that I put back in that are nice, just to keep some continuation. What else can I say about this tune? Oh, let's go look at the master. Low cut. Obviously, I don't know if I talked about low cut mastering in my previous video. Whoa, what have I gone 30? Let's change that. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but I'm gonna go for 24. And then this plugin is great. Just check out your stereo spread. Just added a little touch there. L2 recorder, L3 limiter. Not just stuck that on. Just gonna keep it there. This is great. This plugin is wicked. This kind of maximizes your stuff to get it to the right volume. Highly recommend that. Learn that for Chase and Status video. And then obviously your span. This is a free plugin. Highly recommended for your EQ analyzer. And then this, absolutely loving this right now. This is the Magic AB. So you get a tune, load it up. Annoyingly, I put a lot of my tunes in my on an external hard drive. So you just take a tune, load it up, and then you'd A/B it with your track. So if we just hit play on this song, I wouldn't obviously try and pick the same genre. I've just picked a D&B tune. And then you would play on your tune, and you just try and get it sounding the same, volume-wise, bass-wise, treble-wise, and also stereo spread-wise. So then that's why I've put this on the top, just to solo the stereo and be like, what have they done that I could do? Usually cut off loads of low and bring it up, but you're basically trying to match it sonically to a couple of tunes that you can use. Really, really, really helpful. Also then, if you're a DJ, then or even if you're not, put it into Traktor or Serato. You can get them for free and look at them compared to other tunes. Super, super helpful. And then obviously Pro Q2, just to match it. And then yeah, you can see the difference. Hope that helps. If you've got any questions on production, do shout over to me. One tip that I'd like to give to people that I've been sharing is watch these types of videos, learn how other people do it, and also try and imitate another track. So go, I like this song, I'm going to try and make it. Try and make the exact tune. Think about what bass they've used, drums, everything. Try and emulate it. I know you're not supposed to copy people, but this is just an exercise, a practice, as it were, to say, can I do this? Can I make this sound? And you will learn so much. Or try that. That's my tip for you guys. If there's any tracks you want me to break down as well, do leave your comments below. That's the first time I've ever said that. Leave your comments below.